Hi everyone! I'm so excited to be reading to you today. Today I have chapter 10 of our book, Cleo, Edison, Oliver, CEO, Playground Millionaire. Have you been enjoying it? I sure have. Alright, so chapter 10, Drumming Up Business. The next morning, Cleo was up and ready to go a half hour early. She'd gone to Kaylee's right after Fortune's with Dad's tablet stashed in her backpack and asked Kaylee's older brother, Ernie Jr., to upload the video of Josh onto YouTube. He'd gone above and beyond, even adding a slow motion replay of the tooth shooting from Josh's mouth. It was awesome and hilarious. Hilariousome. Hopefully, Mom and Dad would agree once she told them about it. Now the tablet was safely back in the drawer. Josh was parading around the house with his sugar-free gum and 50 cents. And Cleo had a stack of advertisements in her backpack, ready to hand out at school. Cleo pulled out a copy of the ad and read it over one more time. Here's what the ad said. Cleo's quick and nearly painless tooth removal service. We pull them out so you don't have to. Got a wiggler? Loose tooth getting you down? Worry no more. With our highly effective method, we'll have you back enjoying Twizzlers and tortilla chips before you can say Tooth Fairy. Watch it at work. www.youtube.com/watch?V equals 8I capital Q JY capital O capital Z U capital MS. You're not going to believe your eyes. Your parents will be thanking us. Get your teeth pulled as quickly as ready. Aim. Fire! Where? Wilson Park Playground. When? This Saturday between 10 and 2. Cost? Only $1 per tooth. For just $2 more, we'll record your extraction so you can watch your tooth fly over and over again. Recordings are great for sharing with grandparents. 20% of our profits go to the Horizon Home for homeless moms and their kids. The asterisk number 1 is method is guaranteed to be quick. Pain may vary. If there's 2 asterisks, it meant a Tooth Fairy approved charity. Kaylee had the suggestion that they add the nearly before painless. She also talked to Cleo out of trying to operate this particular business on school grounds. All guns, including toy ones, were completely off limits and could even get a kid suspended. It happened to Ronnie Tipton just last year. Cleo still thought Kaylee needed to take more risk, but this time she knew Kaylee was right. They would offer their service at Wilson Park, not far from the school. Cleo lay on her bed, talking to Fortune about her latest venture. I'm giving away 20% this time because of what I saw on your show yesterday about socially conscious being the new business model. She would show how unselfish she could be. Fortune's eyes stayed put, her arms still frozen in the almost hug. Because running businesses isn't only about making money, it's about making the world better for people, right? Cleo was sure Fortune's sparkly eyes were saying, absolutely, girl, you got it. Had she received Cleo's letter yet? Cleo realized with a start that it had been 4 days. The thought filled her with hope. Fortune might be holding Cleo's stationery at this very moment. Cleo stood on the bed. She pressed her palms against Fortune's outstretched hands, looked deep into her magic 8-ball eyes, and wished she could be Fortune's daughter. Cleo had the flyers out of her backpack long before she, Kaylee, and Josh reached school. She gave them to the kids as they passed on their way. She pressed them into the kids' hands at the crosswalk. She gave some to Josh to give to his friends. As soon as they hit the playground, she handed Kaylee a bunch too. Let's split up. We'll get more done that way. Kaylee hesitated. But you're better at talking to people about these things. Talking people into these things. What could she say? It was her superpower, persuasion. Or as she thought of it, persuasion power. A set of skills that she planned to package and market as a series of business success seminars with titles such as Stop Whining, Start Winning and charm them to disarm them. How to be so cute they can't say no. Okay, we'll stick together. For now. At first recess, we'll split up. Kaylee looked relieved. Cleo spotted Tessa playing tetherball with Steffi. With 2 loose teeth, Tessa was a top prospect. Unfortunately, Lexi Lewis waited to take on the winner. So what, Cleo thought. She wouldn't let Lexi Lewis get in the way of making a sale. In fact, she might even have a loose tooth in that big mouth of hers. Cleo would get Lexi Lewis to use her business. The thrill of the conquest drove her to the tetherball pole. Kaylee trailed along. Steffi had just beaten Tessa, who stepped out of the circle so Lexi could have a turn. Oh, good. Lesnora's here. I can beat her next. Lexi's lips curled into a power-hungry smile. In case you hadn't heard, my middle name is Edison. Edison, that's a boy's name, Lexi Lewis crackled. Cleo ignored the jab. Yes, I am now Cleopatra Edison Oliver, CEO and President of Cleopatra Enterprise, Inc. That's not even a real company, Lexi smirked and folded her arms. Come on, Lexi, let's play, Steffi urged. Corporation, actually. I'm here to tell you about my latest business. She handed flyers to Tessa, Steffi, Lexi, and the other girls waiting for a turn to play. Tooth removal? Lexi looked aghast. Why would I ever let you touch my teeth? Cleo was ready. Her superpower surged. Well, since you asked. You know that awful feeling of having a loose tooth and you don't want anything to touch it because every time it wiggles, it makes you think of the pain and blood? Lexi Lewis was actually listening. Cleo saw her begrudging agreement in the girl's light brown eyes. Oh yeah, and that gross squishy stuff that's in the hole that's left behind, Tessa said. It feels like something you'd find in a tide pool. All furry and yucky. They were getting off track. Cleo wanted them to want their teeth out, not fear the holes left behind. And you spent weeks worrying about how you're going to get your tooth out and when will you be able to eat crunchy things again? And what if you accidentally swallowed in your sleep? Tessa's normally big eyes got even bigger. That happens? Oh yeah, my little brother swallowed his. Ew, Lexi said, dropping the flyer and grabbing the ball. That means he pooped it out. Mia, Stephanie, and Taylor laughed. Were you the one who found it? They laughed again. Lexi hurled the ball. The chain clanged as she and Steffi swatted it back and forth. Cleo focused on Tessa. Look, those teeth need to come out. Am I right? Tessa's mouth twitched as she tested one of the loose canines with her tongue. You must really miss eating Tootsie Rolls. Cleo was glad she remembered her friend's favorite candy. Yeah, I do. I can help you, Tess. It will be easy and quick. So quick, you'll barely feel it. She pointed to the flyer. Watch this video on YouTube. Then come to Wilson Park tomorrow morning. I'll have it done for you in no time. I'll record it for you, too, if you want, Kaylee added. And we're giving away 20% of what we make to a really good cause, Cleo said. Steffi came over. She had lost the game to Lexi, who was now pounding Mia. Time to close the deal. So, will you come? I don't know. Maybe. Tessie read the ad again. I'll go with you, Steffi said. The recess monitor blew her whistle. Kids swarmed like bees, headed for their lines. Cleo stayed put, waiting for Tessa's answer. Mia and Taylor had started toward their classroom, but Lexi had to butt in one last time. You're crazier than I thought if you let this girl pull your teeth. Tessa grinned. She looked a little crazy. I'll be there, she said. Cleo let out a little whoop of glee and wrapped her arms around Tessa. Thanks, Tessa. I knew you'd do it. Lexi Lewis rolled her eyes and walked away. But Cleopatra Edison Oliver didn't care. She had won her first customer. In class, Mr. Boring started off by asking the volunteers to read their passion project paragraphs. Cleo raised her hand right away, but he called on several other kids first. Quentin would be doing his on robot building. No surprise there. Emily would plan to conduct a songwriting workshop. Cool! Cleo had never tried to write a song. Maybe she could even come up with a jingle for her tooth-pulling business. Noah's passion was race cars. Steffi's was gymnastics. And Tessa's horse rescue. Cole was still deciding between teikyo, a kind of Japanese drum, and trading cards. Mr. Boring enthusiastically recommended the cards. Miss Sanchez, the teacher next door, might not appreciate the drums. The big surprise was Rowdy Jimmy Ryson. His passion was gardening with his grandpa. Gardening? Cole blurted, interrupting Jimmy's paragraph. Cleo had been thinking the same thing. Good thing she hadn't said it out loud. Cole got a strike for that. Kaylee never raised her hand. Cleo hadn't thought to ask what her best friend planned to do. Every time they'd gotten together lately, they talked about Cleo's project. Finally, Mr. Boring called on Cleo. My passion, she began reading, is business. Starting new businesses is especially thrilling to me. I made my first sale when I was 2 years old. It was a Disney princess sticker to a man who didn't speak English. He gave me a whole $1 for it. Since then, I've sold many things. One day, I plan to run a huge corporation. My latest venture is a tooth-pulling business. She held up a flyer. Cleo's quick and painless, she left out the nearly this time. People could read the fine print themselves. Tooth removal service. In my passion project presentation, I will talk about my business and how well it is going. She looked up from her paper and grinned. I see we have an entrepreneur in our midst. Mr. Boring wrote the word entrepreneur on the board. Under that, he wrote enterprising. Cleo, I love your, he pointed to the board, enterprising spirit. Thank you for giving us 2 more vocabulary words for next week's spelling test. A few kids groaned, but not Cleo. She could spell those words in her sleep. May I pass out copies for my ad? Sure. She started with Mr. Boring and then continued around the room. Mr. Boring chuckled. Before you can say tooth fairy, eh? And what exactly is your quick and nearly painless method? I use my extractor extraordinaire. Trademark. Love it. He laughed again and then raised an eyebrow. What is your extractor extraordinaire? Trademark. And is it safe? You'll have to come to the park to find out, or watch this video online. And she pointed to the YouTube link. And yes, it's safe. Absolutely. I tested it on my brother. It's all in the video. Intriguing. Cleo buzzed with excitement. I know you can pull your own teeth for free, she said to the class. But when you use my service, you are also helping homeless moms and their kids. She pointed to the ad where it said she was giving away 20% of her profits to Horizon Home. So, this sort of fundraising, as well as a business, Mr. Boring said. It's a socially conscious business, she said, and for a flash, she felt like fortune. This is great. Cleo, I am really impressed, Mr. Boring said. He was so impressed that during lunch, he copied more flyers for her and asked some of the other teachers if she could advertise her business in their classes as well. Cleo couldn't believe it. By the end of the day, almost everyone at New Heights Elementary knew about Cleo's quick and painless tooth removal service. The only people left to tell were her parents. We'll have to wait till tomorrow to see how that goes. Have a great evening.